What's up, everyone? This is Derrick Broze, Houston Freethinkers and Conscious Resistance. Today is Saturday, August 19th, I believe, and I'm here at Sam Houston Park, where there's an action taking place. We have one side over here coming to defend the Sam Houston statue. It's actually called the Spirit of the Confederacy, and then over here we have another side who is here to protest what they consider to be racism and, the Confederate symbols that they want taken down. And this is taking place all around the country. So I'm just here today to try to interview people and see what opinions are on all sides and see if we can get an understanding about what this protest really means to people. Stay tuned.
That are in the city, and Herman Park, and right here, need to go. And then that's where we can talk about removing the street names and the names off of these facilities, because you don't see Adolf Hitler High School in Germany. We were asked about, will it get violent? Why are you doing this? This seems different. We have been saying this. Yeah. Right. We have been saying it. And don't get me wrong, I know a lot of you are out here and were pushed to the brink when Donald Trump got elected, but you're here now. You are responsible. You are here with us. And when we say Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. Say it loud. Black Lives Matter. Say it louder. Black Lives Matter. We mean it.
Yeah. What's your full name, sir?
My name is James Doyle, or Jim Doyle.
Jim Doyle. And you said you are here to defend against people who you believe want to erase history.
That's right.
Could you explain that?
Defend the monuments that we have that depict that history. They're trying to erase history so that nobody will even remember it at all. Then they can establish their socialist ideas and have less.
So can I pause you right there? So
sure.
let's take that piece by piece. So you said you believe they're trying to erase history, and I just did interview people there, and they definitely said that this is one of the thoughts that they're expressing over there. And I'd like your opinion on this. They said, well, Nazi Germany, or Germany doesn't have pictures, doesn't keep statues of Hitler, who did all these horrible things, well, and so they see that some of the people who are Confederates.
And they have museums that show the things that Hitler did, but to compare the South with that is a disgrace.
So, but do you think that maybe then the statue would be better in a museum? That's what some of them are arguing. Some people on the side that I talk to aren't just saying throw them in the trash. They're saying put it in a museum. Would you be okay with that?
Park is a museum.
Okay, but I mean,
it's a historical park, and it honors Texas back to the beginning.
But I think most people, when they mean museum, generally they're talking about inside some building.
I don't see why they couldn't have it outside. Why should they have all statues inside a building?
Now, what about, now you said that there's no comparison between the Confederacy and to Nazi Germany. So we have the Confederacy, which supported slavery, obviously, and there was slavery all over the United States, and then you have...
They had slavery, but that was something that had been established for 250 years at that time. Now they were slowly getting rid of it. A lot of people were coming to realize, that owning another person wasn't the best thing.
So then can I ask you...
They didn't know what to do with it, and they didn't know what to do without it. But in another 20 years or so, the Industrial Revolution would have probably put an end to slavery by itself, where it would not have been economical to maintain slavery.
So can I ask you very bluntly and just straightforward, sir?
I don't agree with
you. Okay, so you're not here as like a white lives matter, white supremacy, white nationalist. You're not here to say we want to get rid of all blacks or something like that? Okay.
I want to preserve this country. I want to preserve Western civilization.
Now, can you define what that means to you, Western civilization?
Western civilization is the development of civilization in Europe and in the United States to this point, from the beginning. And we developed freedom as it's, and it's founded on freedom better than anybody anywhere else in the world. We had a freer society than any other society, and we want to keep it that way.
So basically,
people here are going to change it to something where Muslims will take over and you'll have some real law.
Okay, so I want to pause you because you're saying a few different things. So first, Western civilization, in your eyes, if I heard you correctly, is it's the concept of freedom, liberty.
Yeah.
It's all the great advancements of society that you consider Western.
That's true.
So which countries are part of Western civilization?
Well, all of Europe.
Europe.
I mean,
so
Germany betrayed it when it did what it did, but it came back, I guess.
So, but the West, when you think of Western civilization, you talk about European, North American. These are places that typically, for lack of a better term, the majority population is white, right?
Better, you might say it was the development of the Roman Empire.
Okay.
And how it developed from ancient times up till today.
But didn't the Roman Empire also was like heavily militaristic? They had slaves. Women had very little rights, and
all kinds of bad things.
But those aren't things you want to preserve.
No, we want to preserve the things, the development of humanity.
The development of humanity.
And the history of freedom and individual liberty.
Individual
limited government.
Do you think
that developed? Now Rome didn't have that; they had a dictatorship.
Yeah,
that it developed into later.
So you're not after a dictatorship?
No. I
Okay.
like to stop that stuff.
Uhuru! Uhuru! My name is Nyabingi Fungasai. I am a member of the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement. And I stand in full solidarity with my brothers and sisters from Black Lives Matter. And I want to say it is time for these Confederate statues to go. It is time for these flags to go. And I want everybody that has an American flag to hold it up. And I want to tell you, more black people have been killed under the American flag than the Confederate flag. I want to tell you that the Confederate flag is an extension of the American flag.
Okay, now the other thing is, now you mentioned, so if Western civilization is positive in your view, what would you consider to be Eastern civilization? Like, where is that line drawn for Eastern civilization?
I'm not really sure where you draw a line, but you'd have
because
the
reason
Middle East, you'd have the Muslim,
the Middle East. So that's what I was getting at. Is the most of the nations you're naming, European, North American, those are predominantly, for lack of a better term, white nations, European nations, right?
Yeah.
So are you saying that then Eastern civilization was predominantly what you just said, Muslim, Middle Eastern? So now you can understand then how the other side thinks that this is about race, because Indian. So you're basically talking about brown people, right?
But those, well,
I'm just saying, like, do you see how they might think it's a race thing if you're saying Western civilization and they're predominantly European Western nations, and then you're saying only the brown nation? Okay, I'm sorry.
Race hasn't got anything to do with it.
Okay.
A lot of people come here from India because they love Western civilization and want to adopt it and make it their own, and they very well can. People from Africa do the same thing. People from the Middle East do the same thing. The Muslims came here because they want to be free. They don't want to live like they do in Saudi Arabia or one of those other countries where one guy decides whether they live or die.
Gotcha. I understand. Okay, so from what I gather, and in your own words, you're not here because this is about race to you personally. You're not here because you're a white supremacist.
No.
You're not here because you want to reinstitute slavery. You think slavery was wrong, but you're trying to preserve the positive things that you see about Western civilization.
To try to institute slavery again would be about insane, because it would cost more than than any benefit that they could get out.
But do you think that that's the only problem financially?
No.
Okay. Cool.
It's just wrong to bring something like that back or try to do something that everybody knew had something wrong with it.
Do you believe people own themselves? Do you believe in self-ownership? Like the government doesn't have a right, and nobody has a right to tell you what to do with your body, your being?
No. There's certain civilized things you can't go out there and start killing people.
Well, obviously, what I mean by self-ownership is I own myself, right? And so the
you don't have a right to
I don't have a right to infringe upon your ability to do the same.
That's right, or you don't have a right to commit suicide.
I don't have a right to kill myself?
No. And you don't have a right to kill preborn children. Nobody does. Not the mother, not anybody else.
Okay. So those are areas where you would be okay with government intervention?
Well, government needs to protect people from being killed. They're not doing it for the preborn children.
But doesn't government do a lot of killing on their own too?
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
They do.
They definitely bomb a lot of people in other countries.
That doesn't mean that everybody should never be killed. It means that, like, say you have some guy rob the bank, kills people in the bank, comes out shooting, and they got to kill him.
So you believe in the death penalty?
Yeah.
Okay.
It magnifies the value of life because it shines light on how precious.
Don't you believe it's dangerous, though, to put that power of deciding life and death in the state of the government, in the hands of the government?
It is dangerous, but that's why we have government, to put certain powers but we don't want to ever have it misused or abused.
So you don't think that people have the ability to decide for themselves what's best for them, good and bad?
They do. They say they
up to
run
a
the
point.
government. They elect people. They chose the Constitution. They okayed it.
So do you believe voting still? We're still voting for presidents. Like we still have power in that realm.
Well,
I mean, there's a lot of control. I think both sides would agree. There's a lot of
roundabout way. Yes, you vote for the electors. The electors that you select go and vote for the president you want.
So when we say that the Confederacy has to go, America has to go. America has killed more black people than any Confederate soldier, period. Millions of black people have been dying over the last 600 years for our freedom. It was the American flag that stepped on Africa. It is the American flag that flies over Africa right now. So we want it all gone. We want the monuments gone, we want the Confederate flag gone, and we want the American flag gone. And if you do not unite with that, you do not unite that Black Lives Matter. 200 years after America was created, that's when you had the Confederacy. So if you understand history, you have to understand that both of them have to go. And the truth makes people uncomfortable. But millions and millions and millions of Africans jumped off the boat to not come to this land. To not come to this land that belongs to the indigenous people. So if you are serious about Black Lives Mattering, if you are serious, then you must destroy this system that is not democratic in any type of way to black or brown people. You have to destroy this system that capitalizes on black and brown people every single day. You have to destroy the system of capitalism that thrives off of my black body every day. So we want to talk about Black Lives Matter. That means every single black person, whether they are gay, bisexual, heterosexual, trans, because it was white people who created those identities for us. We did not have identities before we met white people. We did not have gender roles. We did not have poverty. We did not have crime. We did not have drugs.
You burn an American flag, you are not symbolizing changing the country. You're symbolizing destroying the country. And there's a big, big difference. If you don't like the president, burn a picture of the president. If you don't like the Congress, burn a picture of the Congress. If you want to wipe your butt with something, well, make it a picture of the thing you're mad at, not the symbol of the entire country. That's just stupid.
And I guess that for them, you know, that's what, as far as trying to empathize with what their viewpoint is, based on what I heard over there, to them it is the country itself. You know, Donald Trump's a symbol of that for them, but for them, it is the country itself that's the problem.
Wait a minute.
That's what I heard over there.
So all of those people that voted for Hillary Clinton and that are Americans, that flag doesn't stand for them also? When you wipe your ass with the flag, you're wiping your ass with their face. All of the people that agree with you. You cannot separate things out like that. That's what burns me about desecrating the flag. Sure. You're not desecrating the thing you're mad at. You're desecrating the whole damn thing, including all the stuff you love.
So would you say that, say for example, the reverse of that, like the people who get so bent out of shape when somebody turns a flag upside down or burns it, like it's not even the flag that they're mad at. It's what they're, like you said, it's what it stands for that you feel is threatened, right? Like, because to me personally, the values of a place is what matters to me. Like this landmass of North America, I've got my issues with it. You know, I don't think it's perfect by any means, and I think you'd probably agree. And so if somebody was to do that, like it's not going to cause me any sweat. I guess I understand where they're coming from, but I see people on both sides. You know, to them it's like tearing down a statue isn't going to fix things, and then the people who are like extremely upset and like trying to stop the statue from being preserved, to me it's like, well, we're getting stuck on little issues that, I mean, there's much bigger things affecting all of us. There's, you know, all of our money being funded to use wars, there's violence, there's the loss of civil liberties, there's surveillance, there's, you know, just a lot of issues that affect people on all sides of this thing. And yet we're here talking about the statue and like the little things that people are getting. I also don't think, you know, getting rid of the statue is going to make the problems that they see go away, because what they see is,
you know what it
is? See something deeper rooted.
You know what it is?
What is that, sir?
It's having a drink. It's a feel-good measure. It doesn't change it. When you go home after a hard day and you have a couple of drinks, does it make your day any less hard? No. It just makes it seem less hard.
So you think this is just like blowing steam off?
It's a feel-good measure.
Blowing steam off?
Okay, if I went over there right now and kicked that statue down, is that going to change the mind of a single racist anywhere in the country? Is it?
Probably not.
Okay. There you go.
But it sure does create a lot of division among people, doesn't it?
No, it
As
doesn't
far as
create. No,
people
no, Derrick,
fighting over
it
the
doesn't create
statues,
it.
you know?
No, Derrick, it doesn't create it. All it does is bring it out.
Yeah, I guess you're right. The division's already
The division's there.
Yeah.
The division is there. Look right down here. See all those rocks? The dirt is under those rocks. We can't see them, but it's still there.
Yeah.
If I kick the rocks out of the way, then you can see the dirt. See, look,
Sure.
Go ahead, CJ. Now you see dirt. All right, now watch. Now you can't see the dirt, but it's still there. That's all that statue is. It's something that exposes the crap.
So you think
It's already underneath.
these divisions and this sort of under the surface tension has been there for quite some time, and now it's coming out? Because some people see this as a bigger like push towards, on the extreme end, like a race war or something like that, you know? You think that's just huff and puff, like you said, people just blowing off steam?
Have you ever seen two guys in a bar disagree? Then they start doing this, and then it comes to shoves, and then they go to blows?
Yeah.
Right. Well, right now we're at the looking at each other like this stage. If we break it up, calm down, sit down, and talk about it, everything will be fine. And if we don't do that, we just keep shoving each other back and forth, eventually somebody's going to throw a swing. And then it could turn into something. It's all about how people handle it, and people on both sides.
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to say something just as blunt as I can. I have no idea what it's like to be a black man. I have no idea. I'm not a black man. I'll never know that any more than I'll know what it's like to be a woman. So I'm not qualified to sit there and say, well, here's how black people ought to feel, because I don't know how they feel in the first place.
Sure.
What I can tell you is at some point in time, we've got to say, all right, enough. Let's start from here and form a more perfect union.
Sure.
Establish justice. Ensure domestic tranquility. All that stuff that we talk about, let's shut up and actually do it.